being that they can possibly have. So I'd like to try and tell you briefly about what MenoHealth does. We base this around a pilot that we ran, and also the charity Women in Sport did some fantastic research called Menopause, Me and Physical Activity. They found a third of women stop being active during menopause. Now, it's hardly any surprise when you look at the reasons why. And I'm sure you'll all associate with all of these things as to why you haven't got time or energy or the motivation to exercise when you're being pulled from pillar to post and you're busy at work, busy with family, and you suddenly have all these hormonal imbalances. But it's the most important time of our lives to be active for our future health, a better menopause and a better future health. So they found that what women were looking for when they were going to do some physical activity was that they got the right support. You know how it's much easier if you've got a friend that wants to support you through, that phones you up and says, come on, are you going for a walk, or will you come to this class with me? It makes us a little bit more accountable, and it gives us that little push that we need. But also, it's about having a welcoming atmosphere, non-threatening instructors, and this is where Sue comes in, someone who has empathy and knows what you're going through. Pilot showed exactly the same. People were saying, I'm just not me anymore. I feel old and depressed because of my aches and pains. And what did they want? Well, what do we all want? They needed that little bit of motivation, because they were fed up about the changes to their body, their menopause middle, their weight gain, the change in body shape. And they wanted to do exercise, but they wanted to do something that made them not feel embarrassed. The only one in the class that can't keep up. Everybody seems younger, fitter, slimmer than you. And they did want to be able to talk through their symptoms as well. So we had a pilot that gave us such fantastic results about everybody saying that they enjoyed it, that they benefited from it. And most of all, that missing element we all need is fun. Because if you don't enjoy it, you're not going to do it regularly. And this is how we developed a Meno class, which has 15 minutes of talking every week, a different topic about menopause symptoms, with real evidence-based information to give you the right signposting and support to know what you can choose to do. And then we do warm-up and aerobics to some fantastic music, strength and toning, which I'll talk about in a moment, being so vital for our health as well. Balance, stretches and a cool down. So actually it's a one-stop shop for busy women who need to do a bit of all of this. So the topic discussion is about informing, empowering, supporting, and knowing that it's not just you going through this. That in itself is like a therapy session. And it's a wonderful feeling when you know that you're not alone, but you're also not just talking about it and thinking, oh, that's it then. This is the end, menopause. It's not monopause. This is actually, well, here's all the things you can do to help yourself, put you back in the driving seat. Now you can make a decision about what will help you to cope with these symptoms, physical or psychological, or just all the other things that may be affecting us at this time. So the exercises, our logo is a flame, and they can be done at flame 1, 2 or 3. So it's absolutely fine if you are deconditioned, you haven't exercised for ages, you're feeling tired and weary, you can still join in. Flame 2 is intermediate, flame 3 is a higher intensity. But here's the fabulous 4 things that you need to do. Flexibility, aerobics, balance and strength. That is the perfect combination for the best possible impact on your health and well-being. And this comes from the Chief Medical Officer's guidelines for people that are in our age group. But we need to make it fun. We need to make sure that these exercises are doable as well as effective. This will just show you one of the training slides from the Meno Leader program that Sue did. So it's just a simple kick action. When you put it to some music, you feel like you're dancing around your handbag. So it doesn't feel like an exercise, but you'll see very quickly how you can increase the intensity, the range of movement, and how hard you're working. But everyone's doing the same thing at the same time in the class. So exercise, honestly, is menopause medicine. Even if you don't feel like doing it, there's always something that we can do. I'm really passionate about trying to help women prevent osteoporosis. It affects half of us over 50. And I had an early menopause due to having a hysterectomy at 36. I wasn't given HRT because of the flawed research around breast cancer at the time. And I should have been, and now have osteoporosis. So I really want to make sure nobody else suffers through lack of information. It's about combating that meno middle, the muffin top that suddenly seems to appear and stubbornly stays. It's vital to improve our muscle mass, and that is to help prevent inflammation that occurs without us knowing it. It's invisible, but it's the reason that we're more likely to have heart disease and all the other dreaded diseases that we don't want as we're getting older. It actually alleviates joint pain, so it'll improve the synovial fluid in the joints, so you'll feel more like moving, and it can help with those psychological symptoms, reducing stress, helping you to sleep better, and even improving your confidence. So really, it's a win-win. I'm going to leave that slide. We know that you may not have an hour to spare, and so what we're doing is a mini Meno class that is a 6-week online program that combines the topics that are most talked about. So you can see here, where's my waist, HRT, hot flushes, the emotional roller coaster, below the belt. That's everything to do with libido, vaginal dryness, urinary tract infections, menopause at work, and we have lots of other topics. It can be tailored to your needs. And I'm going to show you a few of the very simple things that we do in these mini sessions. They're not full exercises. They're things you can do at your desk. You don't even need to get changed. You can do them and they don't make you hot and sweaty. I'll be showing you a few of these in a moment to get you going. So the benefits, of course, are to the individual, they're to the company or the organisation. We don't want to lose women who are at the peak of their careers, who are so valuable. And by supporting them, helping them with their health and well-being and with the right information on a weekly basis and a regular basis is going to be beneficial to everybody. We were on BBC Breakfast Wake Up to the Menopause, which actually kicked off all of this last year when, for the first time, there it is on your breakfast TV every day for a week, actually recognising the fact that every woman goes through menopause. Why hasn't it been spoken about properly until now? Of course, all the celebrities are coming out with their books on menopause too. And it's a fantastic thing that you're running these sessions to actually make this a normal topic of conversation. Please come and visit us. We've got loads of help on the website. We've got free sessions on our Facebook page through from Sunday night and every morning next week, and lots of things on our social media too, if you'd like to come and find out a little bit more about how we can help you.
Julie, could I make a suggestion, if that's okay?
Yes.
We've had quite a few colleagues who have just joined with there was a miscommunication with a link. Would it be possible for you to do a very quick overview of what you have just done for the benefit of the colleagues who have been with us and those that have just joined?
Absolutely. How
Thank
quick
you so
do you want
much,
that, Carla? 2-3 minutes?
Wonderful, absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem at all. Do you want me to, I'll just keep the slides up, is that okay?
If you could put it back to the side slow, is that okay? Just so we've got the full screen. Fantastic, thank you.
There we go. Okay, we're going to have a whistle stop tour now. So MenoHealth is all about trying to help you to have the best experience of menopause by supporting you to be more physically active and get the right support and information. We looked at the research done by women in sport. What are the barriers? What's stopping you being active? Why are a third of women not being active when it's a time of our life we actually need to do it more than ever? Through our pilot, we ran our classes and found that everybody was saying the same thing, that they were struggling, and actually it was starting to cause more health problems and aches and pains and so on. What could we do to help? Well, we know that we wanted to help them improve their shape, their confidence, be able to talk about their symptoms openly and not feel that they were embarrassed. After the pilot, we were overwhelmed with the response. There were women that came to this pilot, hadn't exercised either ever, like my sister, or there were people that hadn't exercised for months because they'd just lost that motivation. And they all improved their physical and emotional and psychological health. So we got the Meno class up and running. It includes 15 minutes of talking about the symptoms of menopause. It isn't a monopause class, it's menopause information led by really sympathetic and empathetic leaders who understand what you're going through to give you the facts and signpost you on for further help. Then the class itself is great music for the warm-up and aerobics, strength, balance, stretches and cool down. And it's about having fun. The topics we cover are everything from HRT to libido, to hair loss, to weight gain, to hot flushes, period problems, you name it. We can talk about it and support you, but you support each other. We've all got something to share that will empower each other. And everyone says at these, phew, it's not just me then. The exercises, I call it the Fabulous Four. It's flexibility, aerobics, balance and strength. We need to do all of these, and that's what the class does. It's a one-stop shop of all the elements that are going to be most beneficial. We do them at flame 1, 2 or 3, in other words, beginner, intermediate and advanced, so that everybody can participate, even if you haven't exercised for ages. A little example of the kind of dance movement we do. It's super simple. There's no complex choreography, so you don't feel silly if you've got brain fog. And we take it through so that you're working at a level that suits you. And here's my big plus for exercise. This is menopause medicine. It does all of this and way more. And I really think it's so important that we know about the things that it will help with. Not just these on the slide now, but also it can help with your brain fog. It can help with those aches and pains that you get through menopause as well. But it's about preventing a decline in health. We're at a really delicate stage, and this is a golden opportunity to have a much better menopause and future life. The inflammation is that happens inside the cells of the body when we sit down for long periods, and that actually is the cause of many of the age-related diseases that we want to avoid, including cancers and dementia and heart disease. But what's wonderful is how much it can improve your sleep, your confidence and your self-esteem too. So we've done a mini class that's a little bit easier for women who are super busy to access. If you haven't got an hour to do a full Meno class, here's our mini Meno class. It's only half an hour, 15 minutes discussing the most talked about topics, giving you the right information, helping each other, and 15 minutes of the easy exercises you can do at your desk or just in your own home. There are movements, and I'll be showing you some of those in a moment. So you haven't got to get changed to put your trainers on. You haven't got to get hot and sweaty. They're things you can build into every day because we know how busy you are. So MenoHealth is beneficial to you. It's beneficial to your organisation. It helps retain staff and help them stay healthy and well for longer, so they don't consider leaving just for want of getting the right support. and please come and visit us. I've got a fantastic social media following. We were on the BBC when they did their Wake Up to Menopause, and that started the conversation. We want to keep the conversation going. Okay, is that all right, Carla?
Fantastic, thanks ever so much. And for colleagues that have joined, apologies, I'm not sure where we had a miscommunication with links. There was a change in the schedule, but of course all of these sessions are being recorded and the slides will be with you, and of course we will continue and carry on the conversation of menopause, I am sure. So Sue, is it over to you for now?
Yes, please.
Yeah,
thank you very much, Sue.
Thank you, and thanks everyone for joining us. I know this is a bit of a tricky time. It's kind of over lunchtime, so if you've logged into this morning's sessions, a lot of people are probably trying to grab a little bit of lunch at the end of that. But so thank you for staying with us. Hopefully you're maybe having lunch now or just taking a few minutes. So I'll tell you a little bit about myself. So I'm Sue Copeland. I've got a background in the NHS. I've worked in the NHS for over 35 years. I am a registered nurse, although I don't do what I call real nursing anymore. God forbid at the moment. I really wonder how they're coping with everything on the wards just now. But I work in occupational health in Barnsley Hospital up in South Yorkshire, and my role there is to support the health and wellbeing of staff. So I've also got quite a lot of experience around supporting healthy lifestyles, health promotion, public health, behaviour change, giving advice and information in that particular area as well. So I'm well aware of the impact that menopause has on ladies in the workplace, because in occupational health we see that all too often. We see ladies presenting at occupational health when quite often they've tried to manage their symptoms for quite a while, and they come to us quite often as a last resort. So what I started to look at was, what can we put in place in our organisation to try and prevent ladies from getting to that point, and maybe offering some early intervention and some support further back in the line, really. So I set up a menopause peer support group. We've got about 150 ladies on our email distribution list for that. They don't all come to the meetings, which is a good thing, really. When we were doing face-to-face meetings, we wouldn't have had a room big enough. But I do send them information out in between meetings as well. So that's building all the time, that's growing all the time, that network. We've had a couple of events at our organisation, and we've had some menopause related workshops for both staff and managers as well, which have been really well received. So as I say, I'm well aware, as Julie says, that we are talking more about menopause, but I do still feel that certainly in my organisation, we're just scratching the surface, really, and I think there's a lot more that we can do around that as well. So how I became involved with MenoHealth was I'd been sent some information from Julie around the Meno leader training, and I deliberated over that for quite a while. For those who know me, I do think and reflect and consider things for quite a long time. But it felt like it had come at the right time. It was a good opportunity to be able to certainly improve my knowledge and skills, and again extend that support to ladies in a different way, really. I'm a firm believer in encouraging people to step out of their comfort zone and to do things differently. This was well out of my comfort zone. So the training involved lots of e-learning, lots of online assessments, and then 2 days training with Julie and some of the colleagues down in Birmingham doing the MenoHealth training and being assessed on that. As I say, stepping out of the comfort zone is an understatement, but I got there and I passed, and really, really enjoyed it, actually. And it felt quite empowering, individually, it felt quite empowering to be able to offer something that was different from the norm. So I've been involved in just around a year, actually. It was this time last year that I did the MenoHealth training. And since then, I've actually run some work-based sessions. Initially, those were face-to-face, and then obviously COVID hit, so then they continued online. And then I also set up some sessions in our local community as well. So those, because I'm employed part-time and then I'm self-employed as well. So I did some of that out of my day job and again offered those sessions, which were really well received. And as Julie says, they're at 3 different levels. So anybody who's not exercised recently to people who are exercising regularly can get the benefits from these sessions as well. One of the other things I did, and I was amazed actually at how popular this was set up a Facebook group, not in work, outside of work, and we've had around 2,500 ladies join that, looking for support and advice. And I'll certainly be looking at running some mini MenoHealth sessions for that group of ladies as well. But again, it just demonstrates, I think, the need for people to get support around their own menopause journey. I'm involved in the Health and Wellbeing Leads, which is how I've come to get involved in collaborating around these webinars, these bite-sized sessions, which again is really quite exciting. And it's just great to be empowering ladies to take control of their menopause, but also to look at how we can change policy and practice in organisations and businesses as well. So I'm going to hand back to Julie in a while to do some demonstration. Just to reiterate that, as Julie says, they can be adapted. It's not boot camp. Julie's going to go through some of the simple exercises. I do encourage you, if you're able to, wherever you are, to just maybe I'm at home, so I'm in the dining room, so literally it can be done anywhere. Just step away from your desk if you can. You don't have to put the camera on, and just have a go at some of these simple exercises. As Julie says, if you've got your work clothes on, that's fantastic. Just make sure if you've got your stilettos on today, for whatever reason, you just take those off and pop them to the side. We don't want anyone falling over. So have a go and enjoy, and I'll hand back to Julie. Thank you, Julie.
Thank you, Sue. Well, as Sue said, normally in the class, of course, we're getting the music on, we warm up, we're doing all sorts of things and into the aerobic section. And in fact, it's been Deborah Garlick, who you'll be hearing from next week, stood outside one of the classes and said it sounded a bit like the school disco because everybody has such fun and laughs about it too. Today, I can't do a full session for you, and normally we'd know all about your health and make sure it's tailored. So it's only things that you can do at your desk, no matter what you're wearing. All we're going to do to start with is actually, if you're sitting down, stay sitting down, but move away from the back of the chair so that you're sitting up really tall and straight. Now, roll your shoulders up, round and back. Oh, it's not even an exercise. It's actually just something you do when you feel really tense. And if you can just, at this point here where you're going back, squeeze your shoulder blades in 2 or 3 seconds and then back. Squeeze and back. And actually, you're just doing that. If you've been working at your desk for a long time and your hands are facing forward, your shoulders come forward, and you know what happens, you start to get that tension in your neck, and it's not good for you at all. We get tension headaches and all sorts of things. So here's another neck exercise. So be ever so cautious. If you've got any problems or health conditions, you can just watch, of course. So it sounds ridiculously simple, but just put one hand across your chest and slightly push down on that shoulder so that instead of being all tense, you push the shoulder down. Now let your head tilt to the opposite side to your hand. So as you go across, you feel that gentle stretch down your neck. Hold for a few seconds, come back up, and then let's do that on the other side. So hand across and just tilt the head. Can you just feel it? Maybe a few little crunchies in the back of the neck there. So very, very cautious, up we come. And now an extension on that one is to just pop your arms in front of you like this, and then take your chin, not forward, but towards your elbow. And then back up, and then towards your elbow. So you're looking slightly down and to the side, and back up. Now this time, take your arms across a little bit further and take your chin towards elbow and back up. So this takes 30 seconds across the other way to pop in every hour while you're sitting at your computer. Chin down towards elbow and back up we come. and take it back down and round. Drop those arms down and then lift your shoulders up, squeeze them as close to your ears as you can, and then lower them down slowly and push them as far down as you can. So you've relaxed, and then one more squeeze, hold, and relax down. So within a minute or two, you've done a few rolls, lifts and turns of the neck, and it will just bring that movement back. Now, text neck is a big thing, not just for us, but everybody who's looking at the phone all the time and looking down. So just from the side, I'll just show you this. You know this position where you bring your head forward? We want to pop your fingertips on your chin and then just gently push back in and think, I'm conscious now, my head's in line with my spine. So watch out for this leaning forward. I'm just going to move away slightly. I hope you can see me because I'm only in a tiny square on screen. So fingers crossed. Can you see me all right, Sue?
Yeah. You're on the main screen now, Julie, so we can see really well. Yeah,
you're full screen.
Okay, lovely. So if you're sitting back in your chair now, it's if you put a cushion behind you, for example, then it sort of gives you a little bit of support. But what happens is we tend to start leaning forward. Can you feel that on the pressure on your lower back and on your neck, especially if you're doing this? So it's actually a great tip to have something like a ball that you can pop behind you. This is a super soft squidgy ball we use for exercise. As soon as you move away, the ball moves. Trigger, I'm not sitting in the right position. And it's as simple as that to create a healthy habit when you sit at your desk. So while we're sitting, we're going to sit all the way back in the chair, nice and supported. You can do this while at your desk, or you can do it when you're watching the telly. You won't believe it's ridiculously easy, but it's so effective. Lift one leg out, level up the chair, that's all, no higher, and hold for 10 seconds. So you do 10 seconds on one leg, and then you repeat 10 seconds on the other leg, and you try and do 10 on each leg. Just try it now. If you come forward away from the back of the chair, that's it, come sit forward on your chair now, so you're not supported. Try lifting your leg this time. It feels twice as heavy. Your legs are very heavy to hold up. And what you're doing is activating those big thigh muscles there that run into the knee and relax down. So 10 on each. Watch out here if you're doing this that you don't start leaning back. So you're having to work your core, your stomach muscles, your legs, and it's fantastic if you've got any knee problems because it will strengthen the muscles that run into the knee. So every time the adverts come on, that's an easy one to pop in, okay? So our next exercise is if you're standing up. Okay, let's see. I hope you can see me all right. Is that okay?
All good. Yeah, all good.
Good. What's your position when you're standing? Imagine this is my desk, or I'm standing. I've got a stand-up desk, but you can still develop bad habits. Your hips sink forward, or your bottom sticks out, and again you start to create that pressure through the spine. So always make sure that you are trying to engage your core. By that, imagine you're standing in the changing room with a new pair of jeans that you want to try on, and you think, can't do the button up. What do? You bring your belly button in. I hope you're doing it, but I hope you're not holding your breath. You can bring your belly button in and breathe normally. If you find that hard, sing while you do it until you get the sensation of tension, engaging the core without holding your breath. Now pump those heels up and down. So this is just a jogger's walk. So this will help if you are standing for long periods with trying to prevent varicose veins, but it really pushes the blood back up to the heart and therefore to your brain, so that if you are just needing a little boost, you're on the phone taking a call, you can be doing a jogger's walk. Okay, super simple. I'm going to face you now. I've got my chair by my side just in case, but it's for a bit of support. Do this side leg raise, so your feet both face forward, don't turn out, and you're working the muscles around your bottom, your hips particularly. So out we go, not too high, and lower really slowly so that you're working against gravity. This is a form of resistance exercise. Do about 5 on each leg. And again, you could be doing this if you're on a Zoom call, if nobody's watching you, and it's just a simple thing. What you're doing here is using these muscles that help stabilize the hip joint. And you know, the knees and the hips, of course, are the areas that we're most likely to get a bit of arthritis, a bit of wear and tear. And so the stronger the muscles are that support the joint, the less achy and painful you'll have. So that's another one. Obviously, you do that on the other side. Right, here's another one. This is the simplest thing in the world. So if you haven't got any time and you think, forget this, I can't exercise, have you any idea how much I have to do in my life? 1 minute. This is 1 minute, and it's so beneficial to your heart, and it's so beneficial to your legs, because this is lifting your whole body weight by getting out of your chair. You do it all the time, but let's turn it into an exercise. If I were to turn sideways on, you need to be forward on the chair, then bring your heels back. Okay, let's just tip that down a bit more. Okay, so don't try and get up with your feet here. Bring them back towards the chair and sit tall. Engage your core. Don't hold your breath. And then if you can, cross your arms over your chest. And then you get up and down. Here we go. So if you can, you do this for a minute. 1 minute. We can all find 1 minute. Okay, I'm going to stop, but you get the idea. Because what you're doing there, is your heart rate gone up, Sue?
It has a little, yeah.
After 1 minute of that, you will really notice the difference. So it's fantastic all-round exercise. All you need is a chair, 1 minute, and then see how many you can do, and try really hard to improve your score. So you're working through those thighs, through your glutes, through your core, you're getting your heart beating. So if you really have no time in the world, just do that. We'll finish off with a little side stretch. So you lean, sitting tall, leaning to the side, no twisting, opposite arm up and over. You look like a ballerina, Sue. That's lovely. And then let's go.
I'll leave the tutu out of this one.
I've got a pink tutu somewhere. There we go. That's from a breast cancer charity event, I hasten to add. I don't wear one.
That's the only time I wore one for the run, the 5K.
You can really feel that stretching all the way down through the waist into the hip, and it's a lovely way to keep the spine mobile as well. And in our cool down, it's probably the favourite part of the class, because everybody goes at the end of it, and you feel like a new woman. So a few little top tips that I hope that you'll be able to fit in, and that's part of what we do in a mini Meno session, just to give you a few things, because little changes can make a really big difference. Okay, it's exactly 5 past, so it's back over now to Carla for any questions that might have come in.
Thank you very, very much. I was going to suggest that we all do that. I was sitting here, but none of us were on camera, so we didn't feel the pressure. But actually, I think they're fantastic, really, really are fantastic sessions. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of audience members today will hopefully re-watch that recording that we have done.